Hey guys, it's Stacy from Singer Career Counseling. Hope your day is going well. Look, I'm just going to stop in for a few moments today. Something was on my mind. I thought about just dropping in and leaving a quick video for it. So I was looking through some resumes today and I saw something that I really hadn't seen in a long time. Because as you know, my focus is really people who are in their mid-career and transitioning, or they've just gotten out the military and they're transitioning to civilian life and really didn't have that transition assistant class provided to them as they got out the military. Or they just kind of need to brush up a little, got out, realized things weren't quite the way they were presented when they were transitioning, or again, they're kind of in their mid-career and want to change positions as well. Anyway, so I was looking at a resume today and the information on it was good information. This did happen to be a veteran, and I was just kind of going through his resume, and at the bottom, he had his references. So what do you guys think about that? Tell me what you think in the comments. Is that a yes or is that a no? Well, as you're writing that, deciding upon that, if it's a yes or a no, go ahead and put that in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. In the meantime, I'll just tell you, go ahead and subscribe to my page so I can have your email address and you can be on my email list. So whenever new videos come up or I'm having another training class, you'll be the first to know, or discounts, new services that I'm going to offer, all of those things. 2022 is right around the corner. I can't even believe we are just right up on the holidays like right now. But a lot of people are preparing for their new year. Usually I know at the end of the year, I used to start thinking about, do I want to come back to this job? Beginning of the year, is this a good time to start looking around? You know, in the past, it was not a good time to look for jobs, or there weren't a lot of jobs available during the holidays. Things have changed over the last couple of years. And I'm not talking about just because of COVID. Just in the last 3 to 4 years, jobs are open. Companies are still hiring. The opposite is the problem now, is that companies are hiring, but people are not applying. So this is a good time to get out there and apply. Okay, so let me help you with that. And again, just subscribe to my channel and it'll take you right to a page where you can leave your email information and we can stay in contact, okay? All right, so back to that question. Is it a good idea to put your references on the bottom of your resume? It is not. All right. For one, it makes your resume look very elementary to put that there. You know, it looks like you're trying to fill space. You know, the people that I'm working with, my clients, and this is not their first go around, and you do not want your resume to look like that. Here's the other big thing. Now, I used to jokingly say this when I was interviewing face-to-face for companies, for different companies. I used to tell candidates this. Let's say they had Joe Williams' name on their reference list. You know, most people will put 3 to 4, right? Joe Williams. I look and I see, oh, this is a personal reference. I would ask them, hey, did you tell Joe that you were interviewing for this job? Inevitably, they'd say, no, I didn't let him know, but, you know, he knows that, you know, I'm in a job search or I'm not happy in my job or whatever. And I'll go, so he doesn't know that you're interviewing today. No, he doesn't know. Okay, suppose I made an offer to you today and we went to do the background check and we just happened to reach out to Joe. What would Joe say about you? I mean, I guess he'd say I was, you know, okay guy, good neighbor, helped his kids with some things, you know, he and I work on cars together. Okay. So you don't really know what Joe would say. Well, no, I mean, we're cool, you're friends, so I don't think he'd say anything bad. Okay. So what I would ask them, they go, wow, what are you trying to say? And I would say, well, let's just say you and Joe do all those things, but you haven't in the last couple of months. And you borrowed a rake from Joe, his favorite rake. All right, just using a rake. All right. And you haven't returned it. But Joe has seen you out there raking your yard every Saturday, getting those leaves up. And you haven't returned it to him. So instead of Joe asking, because he feels like I shouldn't have to go ask for my rake, he asked me. He borrowed it from me. Why isn't he bringing it back to me? So Joe maybe had a bad attitude. He's mad at something else and decided he's going to be mad at you about it also. So he takes it out on you. And then you get this call, or Joe gets this call. Hey, tell me about Bob. What do you think about him? How do you think that's going to go? Now, you can insert your, whatever thoughts. Joe borrowed my car, brought it back without gas in it. I hired Joe because he has a lawn care business, and now I've got this brown patch in the middle of my lawn, and he doesn't know what happened. But I saw his gasoline fall. Whatever it is. My point is, anytime that you're interviewing, one, you need to let the people know that hey, I'm in a job search. I'm looking for a new job. I've got a couple of interviews coming up. They're with this, and this company. This is the type of job I'm interviewing for. And certainly if they're professional references, you want to let them know, hey man, I know when we used to work together, I did IT work. I've since changed my career, and now I've gone into more electrical engineering. So here's the things that I've been doing lately. I'm going to shoot you over my resume so you see the last couple of companies I've worked for. And these are the things I'd like you to highlight. If they ask about this is what I'm doing now, and this is what I have been doing. The company that I'm interviewing with, they may ask questions like this. It's XYZ company, and they do this, and this is the position I'm interviewing for. So that may seem like a lot, but again, we are professionals, and we want to show up in a professional manner, and you want your references to show up in a professional manner as well. So I also try to get people to shy away from your personal references, unless, the company asks for that. But if you do, treat them the same way as your professional references. Make sure you don't pick your cousin Bobo, who hadn't worked, who can't speak the King's English, doesn't understand how to be professional. Don't pick your friend that you grew up with who is like your cousin Bobo. Pick somebody that has a business mind and understands what you're telling them, and tell them a little bit about the company and the things that you would like them to highlight, or, hey, take a look at my resume. This is what I'm doing. Okay. So they all have some understanding as well. But certainly your professional references. I say stick to professional references. So unless you're just kind of one of those people that stay to themselves and under a rock, you probably have some friends that you've worked with, and some coworkers that you worked with at one point, but now you guys have become friends. I do. I have a lot of friends that are not my friends. We used to work together, but they have become personal friends in that sense that we can talk business, but we also we'll catch lunch, go out to dinner, those type of friends. Good way to stay in, kind of right down that fine line. They can represent as a friend and as a coworker. Those are just really the best. Even still, reach out to them. Now, about having them on your resume, you're probably thinking, well, Stacey, so I've got those people on my resume. I've already talked to them. Why can't I leave them on my resume? Again, back to what I said. We want to show up as professional, not like elementary school or just getting out of high school, just getting out of college. You're not trying to fill space in your resume by putting your references down there. It makes your resume look very elementary. I keep using that word, but it doesn't show professionalism. All right. If they ask you, then provide it. That's all. A lot of companies don't ask for references anymore, but if they do, it's usually on the application, and then you can fill it in after the offer is made, or as you're applying for it. Don't go put those references in. And I'll just tell you one quick story. So years ago, not that far ago, but couple of years ago, I was working with a manager and we're doing a hiring session. He happened to look down at the guy's resume. He's looking through it and he kind of just slid it over to me. So I looked at him and was like, why did you do that? I'd already looked at it. And he just kind of sat back, which, I'd interviewed with him several times before. His body language is what I picked up. And at that point, it was telling me I'm done with this guy. So we kept interviewing. I had the last questions to ask him. We finished, both the manager and I thanked him for coming in, and he went on his way. Well, what he saw was on the bottom of the guy's resume. He had a one-page resume, and he saw a name of someone that he knew. Now, I'm going to tell you up front, I did straighten the manager out because it was not professional to do. He couldn't grade on this, but it was someone he knew. He didn't like the guy, and he felt like anybody associated with him, because the guy had him down as a personal reference. Anybody associated with him, I don't want anything to do with him. I certainly don't want him working for me. The guy is dangerous. He's unsafe. All these things. All right. So again, that's illegal. You can't do that. So, the HR and me came out. I was like, we cannot put down that he knows Billy Bob and I don't like Billy, so we're not hiring him. I don't want him on my team. That's not going to fly. That's illegal. All right. So no, I was like, you can't put that. You're going to have to tell me, what about his skills, his qualifications don't meet the standard. Now, just luckily, this guy didn't have one of the skills that was pertinent for this job. So we were lucky to be able to use that. But had the manager been interviewing on his own, under his own devices, yeah, this guy would have not gotten that job. I've also seen a manager pick up the phone and say, excuse me for a moment, and go out and call their buddy who was a reference on their resume as a professional reference. The manager went out, he excused himself. He said, excuse me for a minute, I got to take this call. And again, I was interviewing for a company that we used to tell them right away, hey, just going to apologize up front if the manager has to walk out. So he used that. He walked out. He called his buddy, and the guy said, man, don't hire him. He said, I don't know why he put my name down. And he was like, don't hire him. So he came back and told me. All right. So without going into all those stories, you see how things can happen, right? So you don't want anyone to know more about you than they need to know when you're interviewing. Again, that resume is your calling card. I say it on just about every video that I talk about for resumes. It is your calling card. You don't want to be counted out of the round for any reason other than you not having the skills and the qualifications. And of course, if you do something just a little left of center during an interview, okay? All right, so I hope you guys got the right answer below. Thank you again for dropping in, looking at the video. Again, this is Stacy from Singer Career Counseling. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you haven't added your name to my email list, please do that also. I would love to be the person to help you as we move into 2022. I'm going to have some exciting classes coming up next year. So please make sure you're all prepared to get those messages. All right. You all have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll be talking with you later this week. Have a good one.